This is Reverend Dore Jacques Patlian teaching the science of mind from Sarasota, Florida on one of our rare cloudy days today. We had a little rain, thank you. It's been awful dry here. Today we want to talk about winners and losers. What makes one person always seem to be on the winning side of life while another always seems to miss the brass ring, never seems to get a break? Oh, I know that we like to say there are no winners and losers in life, and to an extent that's true. As far as God is concerned, none of us are losers. We're all winners because He is us and we are Him. We all end up in the same place, and we all have to die first to get there, so nobody really loses at this life. We all end up the same place at the end of the journey. However, we all know people that have a life filled with fun, abundance, health, joy, adventure, love. Their challenges are always met. They're growing and learning. Others have a life of struggle, sorrow, boredom, failure. They're sick all the time. They're in poverty, or they just don't have enough of anything. Is this because God favors some and turns their face away from others? Not my God. One of the hardest things for us to get or to understand is that God never plays favorites any more than you favor one of your fingers over the other. You are to God as the fingers of your hand are to you. Each is unique and separate, and each have a job to do, yet you're part of the whole. Some say that life is a giant lottery where some get the breaks and the rest are doomed to defeat and lack. This idea comes from the late Roman Empire when things were falling apart. It was a pretty rotten time. And a philosopher named Boethius came up with the idea of the goddess Fortuna, who spun her magic wheel, and you either went down into the depths of ill fortune or you struck it rich. And it was all a matter of random chance. Well, it wasn't true back then, and it's not true now. This idea reduces life to a cosmic dice throw. My response is baloney, which in American English means phooey. It's not true. This explanation is the explanation of a loser who needs to place blame outside of himself or herself for their failure. Winners know better. Here's the truth of the matter according to Reverend Dore. And this is my opinion, but it's backed up by spiritual truth. All of us were given the keys to the kingdom of God long before we were born. God doesn't make junk. We were all born perfect. God has known us and loved us for eons of time, way before the date of our physical birth. We have always lived, and we will never really die. Oh yes, our body may wear out, but our minds and our essences live on. We're of royal blood. We are the dearly beloved of the Most High God. Each of us was endowed by our Creator with talents, desires, and attributes that are unique to us. We are all given the tools for an abundant life. Not all of us are beautiful. Not all of us are smart. Not all are witty. Not all are physically strong. But all of us have the seeds of our success hardwired into our very soul. We all have the opportunity to shine, but few do shine. Why? Because we just don't know the winning secret, and we don't know that we have the power within us. We're sleepwalking. We don't know what's inside of us. And often when we do hear about the power, we refuse to believe it can be that simple. Well, those with ears to hear and eyes to see, here it is. This is the secret. Your outer life is merely a reflection of your inner self. You will never see success, joy, abundance, and health if you expect poverty, illness, and sorrow. What you believe in, what you have faith in, and remember, faith works negatively and positively. What you expect, you get. If you feel that you're unworthy, you'll project unworthiness to everyone around you, and you will not be able to receive what God has put there for you. If you believe that life is full of illness and that germs wait around every corner to lay you low, you'll spend a great deal of time being sick. You know, you get sick inside of yourself, in spirit, long before your outer body becomes ill. Outer body's only manifesting the inner illness. Yes, science does tell us that germs carry disease, and that's true, they do. But why are some people always sick and some almost never sick, living in the same house, in the same town, going to the same schools or workplace? Because they're different inside, therefore the outside is different. They expect different outcomes and they get them. Here's a story that illustrates the loser consciousness very clearly. I have a friend who owns several rental properties, and over breakfast he told me a story that illustrates just what we're discussing. One of his tenants was unable to pay his rent, and after several extensions was still unable to meet his obligations. My friend felt very bad for the guy and had given him every chance, but the economy is bad, and the fellow really was in trouble. My friend did have to ask him to vacate the home eventually, but knowing that this man needed cash to find a new place, he did something I've never known a landlord to do before or since. He told his tenant that if he left the property spick and span and clean, that he'd give him $1,000 cash upon leaving the property. Now, this wasn't a deposit because the man had not paid a deposit. My friend was going to give him out of his pocket $1,000 to do what he should have done in any event as a way of helping him get on his feet. The tenant seemed pleased by this bargain. What do you think happened? Did our wayward tenant get the cash? Here's $1,000 on the table ready for him, and all he had to do was clean the place up. Would you have taken my friend up on his offer? I would have. In fact, I told my friend that I'd be pleased to clean any of his properties for $1,000 apiece. Our tenant left the property a mess, so filthy it was absolutely shocking. I was over there the day he inspected it. This is a losing attitude. Someone tries to help you turn a bad situation into a win, and you cannot muster enough character and common sense to get the broom and the mop out and do what you know you should do anyway as a good tenant. Instead of leaving in good graces with a decent reference and cash in pocket, this fellow has nothing. No self-respect, no place to live, and no money. Now, is that society's fault or the evil landlord, or whose fault is that? Why do you think the man acted this way? What would you have done in his place? Your answer may tell you a lot about where you fit on this scale. The cause of this failure lies with the tenant not being able to get beyond his ego and his sense of fear, hurt, and anger, and to see the great gift he was being offered. Rather than say, gee, thanks, that's very decent of you, and then clean like crazy to show his appreciation, he dove into victimhood and made the whole affair someone else's fault. He failed to take responsibility for his actions, the non-payment of rent. He failed to see that he created the whole scenario in the first place. If he wished to do so, he could salvage a lot of good out of it. He couldn't imagine taking the high road, doing what he knew he was obligated to do, so he went down the well-hewn path of the loser and indeed lost again. Of course, I'm certain that this incident just reinforced his belief that nothing good ever happens to him. Why did God allow this to happen? Why was he a born loser? There's no such thing as a born loser. Losers are made, not born. Here are the 5 characteristics of a successful person. Let's talk about what it takes to be a winner. Number 1, and most important, you take responsibility for your own actions. You're not to blame, because there's no blame in the spiritual universe. There's only responsibility. Once you realize that your life is your creation, that you are the artisan of your fortune, then you are in control and can create whatever life you want. And here's another power that you have. Once you know that you create your own life, guess what? You can recreate it or change it anytime you want. Number 2, a winner does what he says he will do in all cases. His word is his bond. He can be depended on. As part of this, he is wise in what he promises and never overcommits or overpromises. Never promise something you're not willing to deliver on. It's okay to say, I can't promise that. You know, it's much better to do that than to make a promise and break it, because then nobody will believe your word again. Number 3, he gets it done on time and done well. He does not procrastinate or slough off obligations. In the words of Reverend Edwin Gaines, a great prosperity teacher, when you're faced with a bucket of frogs and you got to eat them all, eat the big one first. That's her way of saying, get the biggest chore out of the way first, the one you hate to do the most or dislike the most. The rest will be easy. Number 4, he's modest and he builds up those around him, giving praise to all who made his success possible. He's grateful to God, from whom his talent, his strength, and his very life comes. For all he has in life, he knows that by himself he can do little or nothing. His power is from God. He knows that we are all one in God, and he's a team player and gives credit to everybody on the team. He cares nothing about being right or fixing blame. This is an important one, and one where a lot of people fall short. They get focused on being right, being justified, and fixing blame. That never leads to success. You focus on the job to be done, how to get things fixed, and how to make it work. That's what a winner does. As you are inside, so will be your life outside. You're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, one of my favorite expressions, in your life if you believe the outward changes will bring a changed life. All change comes from within, my friends, just as all that is created comes from the mind of God. Are you ready to be a winner? You know, it's a lot of work. Nobody was born a winner. They had to learn it. The loser in you must die, and you must give birth to a new you. You must change the whole way you do business in this life. You must rebirth yourself by means of a transformation of your mind into the winner you were created to be. Can you change? Will you change? If you need help, request a prayer from me or email me and I will help. Because I had a loser consciousness for many years, and I did the work and I changed it. And now, at least I'm a winner in training, if nothing else. Until we speak again, Reverend Dore saying, may God bless and keep you.